Hey guys, so update on this toilet. Unfortunately, I cannot get it up and running tomorrow or today because I'm going to post this tomorrow. But because the parts are not coming until Friday because the date changed. It said originally Wednesday, but it's not going to be here till Friday. So this thing will not be up and running until Friday. But anyway, other than that, this is pretty much it. Honestly, you've already seen the basic condition of it. Just that one crack there and crazing. See it right there. Can't even feel it. It's not even through the bowl, so it's not any concern. It won't go through the bowl, hopefully. And even if it does, it won't leak either. Or it won't leak that bad if it does. If it does, I don't know what I'll do, but I don't think it will. And the same thing with the tank. I'm going to do an epoxy repair on it or replace it because there is cracks in the bottom of the tank. Some of them are crazing. Some of them start to go into the tank, like this one, but doesn't go all the way through. This one goes right through the tank. So that one is my main concern. I'm afraid when I tighten up the bolt, it's going to cause the tank to break from here all the way to the top. Because the flush valve goes in here, and I have to tighten up the nut to get the seals sealed correctly. And I'm afraid it's just gonna cause it. I'll see what happens if the tank does crack. I guess I'll just have to buy a new tank. The tank I found a tank that will work, and it looks very similar to this one, but it's like $250 plus shipping, so it'd be like $300. So I don't know if I'm gonna do that or not. So I might have to kind of jerry rig this with a 5 gallon bucket or something, drill a hole in the bottom of the 5 gallon bucket and do it kind of like Owen Cohen style with the little bucket and the flush valve and fill valve inside of it, because I don't know if this tank's going to survive having a new flush valve put into it because of that crack. But it might. I'm planning to do an epoxy repair, so that I might save the tank from being problematic. But this cracked seeps, and how I can tell is because the crack is discolored, which means there's been water in there at some point. So the crack actually seeps a little bit. So which means this crack's probably been here for decades, honestly. It's probably been seeping for as long, because this crack definitely wasn't from a freeze, because the handle itself is cracked. So it's from aging. The toilet just gets old and things crack and stuff like that. And the crack, you can't really feel it, but it definitely does seep. And you can see it on the inside of the tank, but these ones you can't. But they also seep, because the glaze is cracked. Because porcelain is porous. The only reason why it is porous, the material itself, but the glaze they put on it is not. But when it starts cracking, the water will go right through the bowl, regardless of whatever. Because porcelain is porous. If there's cracks in the glaze, the water's going to go in there and seep out of the bowl eventually. It takes a lot longer to be more like sweating, and you won't really be able to notice it, and it won't do any damage to like your floors or anything, but it will seep out. The bowl has crazing, which is not much of a concern. And actually, surprisingly in here, the glaze is actually still smooth, so it does take down grocery bags like a pro. I dumped a 5 gallon bucket in here. I can't really do a video of that because basically the problem with that is I don't want to hold a 5 gallon bucket full of like 3 gallons of water and tape it at the same time. So I'll probably drop the bucket on the toilet and break it. So basically that's pretty much the reason why I haven't done any tests on this toilet. I have done tests, but I haven't filmed them because of that, and I don't have a tripod to put this camera on, so there's not much I can really do about it. But I did manage to flush 4 grocery bags down this with a bucket. So this toilet, when I get it up and running, it's going to be a beast. It's going to flush pretty much anything I can put in it. It's going to be like A+ performer. And I did buy a new spud for it. And it does fit in here. I tightened it up and it works fine. So hopefully when I get everything together, I'll have to make some type of like prop system because it's going to use a flush elbow. And I still have to get compression fittings for the flush elbow because the original fittings were rotted out of it. Sorry, that's my clock. It's going off. It's like midnight here. But anyway, I'm hoping to have this up and running by Friday if the parts get here in time. Because I don't know what's going to happen with this COVID and stuff. So just keep posted. And I'll post more videos tomorrow about various other things like blah blah blah. I don't really know. I'm running out of ideas besides this getting flushed. Oh, and this is 100th birthday. When this thing becomes 100, because I did find the date on the bottom. I said it in another video, but I actually traced it over so you can see it. It's easier to read. And actually, somebody wrote their name on the bottom of this toilet. Now I managed to trace it out. Joey 9420, and they had this weird squiggle, which is obviously not 29, because if 29 it would go here. It wouldn't go like that. So, and there's actually a space between the 0 and this. I think they just did this to make it look like finished or fancy or whatever. They did that a lot on older toilets. I don't know why. They have like a little pick tool and they just go, and that's what they do. And the opening on the bottom of this thing is 3 inches. So it's enormous. They don't make them like this anymore. Which is kind of sad, honestly, because this thing can flush on modern standards, but they choose not to make them. For some odd reason, they don't make forward trap toilets. But I don't know why they don't reintroduce them into the 1.6 gallon market, because they would work so much better. This thing has a 4-inch trapway. This thing is impossible to clog, and it can flush really effectively on 1.6. So they should reintroduce these into the modern market, because these things are so much better than the Kohler, pretty much any modern toilet. This is going to be better than it. Maybe there might be one exception. Maybe the Ingem, I don't know how you pronounce it, the Ingem Kohlers or whatever, the Wellworths. Those are pretty good, but those don't even come close to the performance of these. So they should put these back into service. The reason why they stopped making forward trap toilets, and I don't know why I hope they're not still using this as a rule. It's a reason is because since the trap is underneath the bowl, it is not actually up here and integrated into the bowl. It's underneath it. It's still integrated into the bowl, but it's positioned underneath the bowl, like it's stacked. The bowl stacked on top of the trap. Is because the water level in the bowl in the 60s, which is really interesting, they declared toilets with low water levels to be unsanitary and not fit for bathroom installations. So what they did is they made it so they discontinued these because you can't make them have a high water level because the bowl's on top of the trap. And they started making toilets with really big water lines, because if you look in like the teens and the 20s, probably up to maybe up to like the 60s, 50s or 60s, all the toilets, like not maybe like into like the 30s or something, most of the toilets had lower water levels. So that meant that material, human waste, could get stuck on the bowl and not wash into the bowl, because once it gets stuck to the porcelain, it kind of adheres to it and doesn't want to come off. And sometimes the flush just doesn't get it all. And since people don't usually watch their toilet when it's flushing, it'll just stay there and be nasty. So that's why they discontinued these. But modern toilets have low water levels anyway to conserve water. So basically this would be more ideal for a modern toilet because of the low water level and the giant trapway, which makes performance so much better than the modern toilets. So they need to bring these back. It would be so much better. But anyway, I'll have this up and running on Friday, and if I don't, for some reason the parts don't get here, I'll post another video and update you on that. I'll keep you posted on that. But anyway, this is the toilet with its prepared ball cock and the bowl all nice and clean. And this is Turlets and stuff signing off.